Evening, everyone. This is The Dastardly Gentleman. Today is July 9th, 2016. And with me, I have Frank. Say hello, Frank.
Hello.
And also introducing Jeremiah. Say hello.
Hello.
Today, we're going to talk about internet gambling. First, let's go ahead and introduce Jeremiah, since this is his first podcast. Jeremiah, how does it feel to be a dastardly gentleman?
Can he qualify as a gentleman? Given he is not dastardly, not a gentleman, and also our resident neckbeard.
Hold on, I do keep the neckbeard rather trim, but the other two terms would use pretty loosely. I don't know, pretty good. Okay.
Oh man!
I don't know. I feel all right, I guess.
So Jeremiah is our artist for our website and our logos.
Artiste.
I mean, he's pretty good, and we appreciate the work he does for us, and we're glad to have him on here.
Thank you again.
So Jeremiah, what's your favorite video game?
Favorite video game of all time? I'm gonna have to go with World of Warcraft, only because that's the video game that I literally have the most time funneled into consecutively.
Until you got Pokemon Go.
Until I got Pokemon Go. Now I'm pretty sure that I haven't logged into World of Warcraft in like 3 days.
How much weight do you think you're gonna lose playing Pokemon Go?
All of it.
I'm pretty sure that I'm actually just going to become like a Ghastly and just die and become a ghost.
He's gonna have thighs like Jean-Claude Van Damme from doing all the walking and biking. He's gonna have to get special shorts.
I'm gonna look like an Ethiopian Tom Cruise.
Let's talk a little bit about the internet gambling situation.
Scandal.
There was a recent scandal involving Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
The 2 YouTubers responsible, who shall remain nameless because they are fucks, and I will not talk about them.
Yes.
Thank you, Jerry.
You're welcome.
Yeah. No, he's got your bag.
So, when it comes to Counter-Strike Go, what exactly happened? I mean, tell me, Frank, you got the lowdown.
So do you want the lowdown on like the gambling scene, or do you want it on the scandal itself? Like what blew up?
Yeah, what blew up?
Okay, so what blew up was that you have two pro YouTubers who are dirty dick fucks, and they will not be mentioned, and they are oh man, they're space docking queens. It's terrible. Anyway, so they basically they start their YouTube site channels doing FPS garbage, including CS:GO, and then in the process they start promoting a new website to gamble and make money off of the skins that you can buy through the Steam marketplace. Well, they start saying, oh, check out this new site that I found, and like they're gonna make a deal with me and whatever for skins to be able to do and whatever. So they're promoting the site like they have no interest in it, but in reality these two guys actually owned it, and they could alter the results of the lotto as they saw fit. So for them, they were having a bunch of people get on their channel and then throw a bunch of money into this pot while they were doing it when they were streaming, and then they would make sure that they won, or they would make sure a certain person won, or whatever. But they never disclosed that they owned any portion of it. To them, it was just, this is a site that we use, it's fun, come watch us do it, when in reality they're sitting there making money off of every transaction, and then they're using it and altering it so that during their live broadcasts, look at how much money I'm able to make, look at all the $13,000 in skins that I was able to procure. So they're making money off of making money off of making money, and then they're marketing it to their children audience.
What do you think, Jer?
Well, they were also technically, weren't they also skimming off the top on top of that as well, because they also got a percentage of whatever the pots were.
Right.
So they were not only
the money.
Yeah, not only were they rigging it, but they were basically taking more from that same pot.
Right.
I think it's garbage. I mean, first off, I don't understand why anybody would spend $400-500 on a skin
for a super old Source game. I mean, like, my God, CS:GO it's garish by any stretch of the imagination now. I mean, like with stuff like Overwatch and I'm drawing a blank on any other FPS. It's
literally any other FPS.
Yeah,
out there.
literally anything FPS that's come out within the last 2 years, CS:GO looks blocky and shitty, like by any stretch. It's just awful.
As far as quality is concerned, I don't think that really matters. I mean, if you go onto Steam right now, on the front page, you can see that they're having a massive worldwide tournament right now.
Which I don't understand. The game is not only super old, but I have played it. I've played CS:GO, and I do not understand why people enjoy it. I truly do not. Because we've got Rainbow Six Siege now, which is plays much better. It's got better options, and it's literally the same game except for you have more ability to do things in it. And I guess it doesn't have the built-in super audience.
It's pretty much outdated, but it's still getting a lot of traffic, basically.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's like the wheel, man. It's been around forever.
Well, I mean, the original Counter-Strike was pretty rock solid, even though it looked like ass in comparison to today's standards.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's not like this one is that big of a step up from it. I mean, we're talking literally. I've got 2 steps.
It's like off the Half-Life 2 engine, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
And that's. What, that's 10 years old? 10 plus years old?
Well, so is Team Fortress 2, and Team Fortress
Yeah,
2
Team Fortress 2 looks like shit, too.
But it's still massive. I mean...
Yeah, it's still a garbage game.
It's also free, and people are
terrible.
gambling on it.
Yeah, they are, actually.
The whole hat situation.
Yeah, they do hats with it. Apparently, they're with a Russian mafia group was laundering money through the purchase and sale of TF2 hats.
Wow.
Which I think is fucking hysterical.
Clearly, I should have been selling hats.
Comrade, I wish to launder this money. Do you want this hat with little penguin on top? I sell it to you for $5,000. Go buy cheap hooker.
Well, what about this? What if it were a lot better regulated? Do you think it would be a solid venture for gambling online?
Only if you could make sure that it wouldn't go to teenagers. Because that's the thing. I mean, it kind of goes back to the. Do you remember? Do you recall the camel, the Marlboro camel, and they can't use them anymore?
Yes. Yeah.
See,
Camel.
because they were marketing it to kids. So you got these asshole YouTubers that are marketing this gambling to teenage. They're noticeably teenage audience. So then you would have to have the FTC come in and actually make sure that if any sites or partners of sites or promoters of sites are advocating a primarily teen audience to use this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. I mean, especially when it comes to video games in general. I mean, your primary audience is
Default
teens.
children. I mean, really.
Yeah.
Impressionable youth.
Okay.
Stares at chair.
So I mean, of course, when it comes to gambling, I mean, laws are going to vary state to state. But what about the online realm in general? I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked into it lately, but online poker, I don't know if that's still a big deal where money is exchanged. But in the online realm, I mean, you look at Amazon, for example. Amazon, you don't have to worry about tax when it comes to buying in Amazon anymore. So the state laws don't apply there anymore. What about gambling? Should gambling be exempt from the state laws as well, as long as it's online?
I don't think so. I think that it should be applicable wherever it would be almost done. I don't know how enforceable it would be, or if it would be unenforceable, but to try to add a tax of some kind wherever your IP is based out of. I don't know how you'd be able to do that.
I mean, you can do that, but there are VPNs out there that will make you look like you're in a different country.
Right.
So, I mean, that will be circumvented pretty easily.
Well, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. At least something similar, anyway. I mean, I think that state laws should certainly apply, because I think that anytime any good or service is exchanged, the state should be able to have a tax levied on it.
Well, I understand.
Because I mean that's economics, but that's why with online gambling, it's not really any different.
I can understand that, but you look at it the way it is now, like with Amazon, when it comes to state taxes. Where does that apply? Do you say, okay, I'm buying a product from Maryland and it's coming to Oklahoma? Do I have to pay the Maryland state tax, or I have to pay the Oklahoma state tax? I mean, where does it seems pretty much a gray area as to where the law should apply there. As far as gambling goes, I don't know. I mean, gambling is pretty much frowned upon online, period.
Right.
But you know, you can get away with being exempt from state taxes because it's too difficult to figure out. I mean, I understand gambling's pretty much only legal in what, New Jersey and Vegas, or Nevada.
Nevada. Well, technically it's legal anywhere also that there are like Indian lands, because I can go to Oregon.
True.
Like 3 hours, well, like 2 hours from where I am right now, and there's casinos and stuff, and I can gamble there.
Okay.
But it's only on their reservations.
Right. Any kind of Indian reservations, the state law is kind of exempt because I've got a casino right around the corner from my house, and I live in Oklahoma. I understand that, but as far as online is concerned, I can understand why gambling would be frowned upon because 90% of the country is outlawed. But as far as state tax is concerned on sales, when it comes to online buying and selling, it's kind of pretty much why they haven't really enforced it, and why they're kind of keeping it neutral is because you go on Amazon and you buy something, you don't pay a state sales tax. You just get it. In fact, I don't. Do you even pay tax on, or do they build it in the price? They probably build it in the price for.
Probably.
Okay.
So it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder if the distributor has to pay a tax on it.
Probably, but they probably build it into the price. But as far as your specific state goes, you don't get the discrepancies between tax rates.
Right.
From what I understood, it's supposed to be the state that the product is being issued from, like whatever that product would be.
Sure.
But like, so for example, that's why some people will go like to other states to buy stuff or to purchase things, because they get it at that rate in that state versus their own state. And I think it's the same thing with like shipping and stuff too.
Okay. I'll ask you again. Do you feel, and I'll ask Jared this time, do you feel state tax should be applied to online sales?
You know, I mean, I'm going to say no, but the only reason that I'm saying that is really because you get taxed for literally everything. And I mean, it's really only a matter of time, so let's just enjoy it while we can. I mean, sure. That's really all that it boils down to. I mean, it's really only a matter of time with the way that they come down on pretty much everything. It's really only time till they start doing it anyway, so it doesn't really...
As a follow-up, do you think that if properly regulated, there should be online gambling?
No, I honestly don't feel that could be something that could ever really work. For the most part, it's really just because you can't see the person who's doing the gambling. Like, I can walk into a casino, you know, and they can look at my ID. They can see that I am of age or I'm not of age. When you're doing that online, I mean, I remember like before, way back in my day, trying to go to like a website that's got like alcohol or anything like that and ask for your birth date. Doesn't matter what number you could put in there. I put in that I was like 200 years old. They don't care as long as it's something.
Pornography.
Yeah, it was
sure.
Yes,
I'm definitely 18. Click, 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 click.
Yeah, that's a good example right there.
But I mean, you know, you can't, unless there was some way to verify it. But there isn't. There's really.
Sure, there is. You wait. See, I mean, like it would be very like one of those, like, you know, But I mean, you have like your online gambling site, then you have to have your certificates from the FTC and overall federal agencies, and then you put in your social.
That doesn't mean anything.
They know for sure who you are and when you were born.
Even though you could have went into your mom's purse and got her social security number.
Yeah, exactly.
And that would, I know, but you can. But then I'm pretty sure that your mom would be like, so there's this thing where like my bank account's filling up with money.
Well, you know,
you know, you're really good at this.
You're doing this, please.
But I mean, like, then you'd have the kids that might ask, you know, they're like, hey, I'm going to be doing this, Mom, and I need this information, or...
What mother is going to be like, here's my social?
Well, you never... I mean, honestly, like, I'm just saying, like, you never know, but you have to understand that, like, it might not be, like, little kids asking for it, but, like, you know, a 15, 16-year-old kid, or they could be getting the information for something related to school, or just stealing the information. Hey, Mom, there's going to be some money going into your account that I won from playing Team Fortress and selling hats. Like,
oh, man. I could just see it now. Freaking... you got your sewing circle going on, and 42-year-old mom is like, my 11th grader is such a good luck charm. He just brings in so much money.
Dollar bills, y'all.
I like how like you immediately went like sewing circle. I mean, like she couldn't go to like she couldn't be standing around smoking cigars at the gun club, being like, you know, little Tommy sure is fucking killing it at the poker tables.
Yeah, so I stereotype. Okay.
You did bad.
Whatever.
They could be hitting the old meth pipe, you know, and
Really,
Mama needs a new pair of teeth.
really, I mean, like, if you're really like gonna, if she's just gonna give out her social, I mean, that's probably accurate.
That makes me sad. Oh man. So what do you think? Like, okay, what do you think? We did an episode on eSports a while back. How do you think? Do you think maybe perhaps that eSports might hit the gambling scene?
Yes.
No.
Oh yeah. I mean, like,
I would say maybe at like a casino or something, you know, where it can be done. I could see that being a thing, but honestly, I mean, this is just my opinion. I think that watching a lot of esports, it's kind of fucking boring. But I mean, then again, I also do feel like, you know, watching football and stuff is also equally boring. So I mean, I'm not gonna sit around and watch a bunch of like 12-year-old Asian boys like play Team Fortress and bet money on it.
I would like to posit that my ultimate snooze fest would probably be online NASCAR.
Oh no!
I know, because like, see, the regular NASCAR puts me to sleep, but like I can at least last through about 40 laps. But the I start to kind of, but like online NASCAR, where it's in a casino, you might as well mummify me because I will never wake up again.
Oh no! I'm sorry, Kyle.
No, I love Kyle. See, the thing about Kyle... No, see, here's the difference, though. The difference is that whenever I watch Kyle and I can watch his stream, or I can sit next to him while he's playing, Kyle is super animated. He's very interesting. But, like, you know, but whenever you're watching the esports, you don't get that. You get the commentators who, for NASCAR, I mean, I presume that at some point, since you are card-holding Americans, you have seen at least some NASCAR, that they are not very interesting. Like, NASCAR commentators are boring. Like, I mean, like, I think football commentators are like way more exciting, but nobody beats soccer commentators, especially Spanish soccer commentators. The best.
I don't know.
I mean, like, I wish that Jerry Lawler would commentate NASCAR. I would watch that. That'd be fantastic.
I don't know. I think League of Legends casters are pretty animated. I mean, the game itself.
It depends.
Especially the first 8 to 10 minutes of League of Legends games, professional games, are just snooze fest because they're farming. But the casters themselves are just like, oh my god. They just get so into it, and
it's broken in half.
Never seen that. I've always watched it, and they usually talk about like what they're gonna hope to see at the later game, and you're like, okay, and it's very analytic, and I really appreciate that. I have seen a couple of times where they've done StarCraft commentators who were super into it, and like they're getting really pumped up, and I'm like, shut up. Because they're like, they get like, oh my god, he's getting another probe out, he's putting him towards the Vespene gas, he's gonna go the left Vespene to go right Vespene. I'm like, does it fucking matter? Shut up. Jesus Christ, it's the first 5 minutes of the game. Shut the fuck. He doesn't know. You don't know what you're gonna do because you're just resource building. Shut up. Just shut the fuck up. No one cares.
Just get Sky Williams to start commentating stuff.
Sky Williams is so really
I would watch lots of esports just based on that.
I had only ever seen one thing on him, and it was a video where he was talking about women in streams, the titty streamers, and I only watched it because of one of the other guys that showed up in it, and I enjoy his commentary, and that was the only time I'd ever seen him. But then I saw him on another podcast, and I'm like, this guy is really funny, and he hits all of the minority demographics, so he can say all the things that I can't say. And that's, I mean, which I think is unfair, but, you know, I mean, at least, you know, God bless him, at least somebody can, you know?
Yeah. Speaking of, like, boring esports, like, if you guys have ever watched, like, World of Warcraft arenas...
No, please don't. God.
It is... I would rather watch NASCAR online 1,000 times over than watch anything World of Warcraft Arena related. It's literally 30 minutes of 3 jackasses trying to stun one guy and just get just the right cooldowns to go off to kill him by the time that stun is up. And it's literally back and forth. Like 30 minutes of just one guy gets stunned. Okay, this guy gets stunned. And then it's so fucking boring.
I think what's the worst part about watching that, because I did watch some of that, the esports bit of it, and it was the worst. It was the worst because I lived it, and I'm like they all they'll play Smear the Queer on the healer, and I'm like, oh my god, bro. No, I feel you. Because, it's that panic of, please don't heal. Please don't stun me. Please don't stun me. Please don't stun me. Oh, they stun me. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. And you start jamming on, the Bulwark Totem being like, oh, give me that little bit of HP. Fuck. Okay, I lived. Okay, we're good. Just keep doing it again.
And then you got Joe that's, doing his own thing, and we have to kind of cater to that. And when I'm trying to peel, Joe's running off picking flowers and...
I can see now the thing I think is interesting about as far as online gambling goes is that stuff like that, and even to CS:GO, making it legal to be able to gamble on it would be like a modern day blood sport, and I think that's fantastic. I love stuff like that. Shock, I love blood sports, but I know, I mean in World of Warcraft arena, you bet in the arena. Oh, it'd be great. You have champions.
No, and I don't think that betting on stuff like that would be fair, because you just look at the teams and just go, okay, this guy can stun this guy one more stun than the other guy can do. I'm gonna bet on that team.
That's why the Warcraft arena is a shitty example, because it's not really a real good esport. I mean they go three Mistwalkers and everyone just pretty much AFKs out and then the other team wins.
Or 3 Resto Druids.
And they just run around in circles and everyone the other team just gets tired and they time it out.
And they still get points for it.
Right.
So we can pretty much count out World of Warcraft arenas as something you'd probably want to gamble on.
No, absolutely not. I mean, the MOBAs are good. MOBAs can be really exciting because there's that, that one guy who gets too far out and then the other team pounces on him and just murders the hell out of the entire team.
Joe.
one guy turret dives for a little too long.
Looking at you, Illidan.
Yeah, that's all Illidan's really.
Holy diver!
Well, okay, let me ask you this. As far as online gambling goes, do you guys remember DraftKings?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't really understand wholly how it works because, I also don't, Shock, I don't care about football. Also, Shock, I don't do fantasy football unless, it involves Dwarves and Dragons. So, why don't you explain that to me?
Freaking nerd.
It's literally Dungeons and Dragons for people that like sports.
Well, okay, let me explain it to you. Okay, so first of all, there's a thing called fantasy football. Fantasy football is you put together a team of players, whether it be baseball or football or whatever, and you make your ideal team based on what's available. You have your little draft. Put together a team based on who's available at the time. You go through an entire season. Whoever performs well on your team gets points. Whoever has the most points wins against that certain person that you're going against for that week. Frank, what's up?
I just have so when you say who's available, are you talking about presently playing in the league or whatever?
Yes,
okay.
Because the stats directly represent what they did in a game that week.
Okay, because it would only work for me if it was anyone who had ever played baseball ever.
So baseball is one of them, football is another. But basically, you don't have to watch the game, but if you do and you have players in that game, you can cheer for them to do well because they're going to get you lots of points. Now, okay, so that's fantasy football. That shit is free. Now, DraftKings took that one step further, and they did it week by week. You create a team every single week. They gave you a certain amount of money, unless you paid in more to it, that you could use to create a team, and the higher tier players cost more money, and the lower tier players cost less. Now, the odds also varied based on who you picked. If you picked the top quarterback in the season, obviously it's 2-1. But if you pick some unknown third string guy to be on your team and he costs 1 out of your $200 that you had to spend for that week, it's 25-1. based on how much money you spend. The way that works is every single week, if you win against an opponent, then you get a payout. And your payout varies depending on who you have on your team. Now, the problem with DraftKings, and this is why they kind of disappeared for a while, I don't know if they got outed and, the government actually stepped in or anything, because they should have, but the problem with DraftKings is it is legit gambling. You are putting in money and crossing your fingers based on chance, because anybody could do anything in their games for that week. So if you pick, a top tier player and he got injured in the first minute of a game, you're fucked. And you just wasted all that effort and resources on that top tier player. But if you just so happen to pick a third string player that got in because two other people in front of him got injured, and he got 3 or 4 touchdowns or a home run or whatever, you're fucking looking at thousands of dollars in a payout. That is all like 95% chance. So it is gambling, but the problem with DraftKings is they really pushed that it's a skill-based game. They never wanted it to sound like it's gambling, because of the fact that once it's called gambling, the FTC will step in and say, we're shutting this shit down.
Wouldn't it be impossible to call it anything other than that, because there really isn't any skill involved? I mean, it's almost like a people roulette.
Well, that's the skill is what your team is going to be because you picked based on decent stats and you won because you picked really well. It's fucking gambling. But they spun it as hard as they fucking could to call it a skill-based sport, basically, online sport. I haven't heard anything about DraftKings in the last 8 months.
I would like to see.
I don't think they're a thing anymore.
I would like to see fantasy cockfighting.
Okay.
Pokemon, dude. It's called Pokemon. It's the same.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I think that should be. I think we should be able to bet on Pokemon battles.
That could very well be a thing in the very near future, and that concerns me.
I could get to that.
No,
I
don't.
have that.
So now here's the thing. I'll be the guy. See, when we are all next together, because I don't care about Pokemon, I'll be the guy with the rice hat going around collecting grimy dollar bills and fives and stuff whenever we're all hanging out at the gym. The Pokemon gym. Let's not get crazy.
I was gonna come on.
It's no, we're not doing that. Oh, can you imagine if your gym was a Pokemon gym? We'd never see you again.
I would literally just sit in there defending my gym.
Anyway, so I'd be like, because you fight the Pokemon, you put the Pokemon gym, and then you gotta take it for the color, and then you could take bets to see whether the person actually takes the gym or not.
You can't do that with Pokemon Go because it's so buggy right now. So I mean, if they had stuff fixed,
that's an extra level of skill.
DraftKings 2.0.
Yeah, see, we're not gambling. It's a skill-based game where we have certain overhead costs that need to be observed by the crowd.
No, I feel you.
We just gave somebody a great idea. We should patent that. Whoever listens to this podcast, they're gonna be like, oh,
they could call it Poke Kings instead of DraftKings.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie Lionheart with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
No.
Okay, well, in the movie, it's basically a bunch of street fights, and there's a big old crowd surrounding said street fight. I feel like it's going to be like that, but with smartphones.
No, it's going to be like that, but, did you ever, go into the... That's a stupid question, I know you have. But you ever been, in the card shop where, you get, two of, the top players, in the area, and they're fighting, and, literally everybody surrounds them?
Yes.
It's going to be like that. I mean, but it's going to be like that weird mixture of cologne and ladies speed stick.
It's going to smell like bod body spray.
Yeah. I mean, I always felt bad for those guys. I felt like they should have been given the little the painter's masks. Whenever they're playing, they get surrounded because the guys on the outside can go and they can get air.
They could leave at any time.
They can leave at any time. It's strongly encouraged.
I mean, I can relate. I feel that if Pokemon got to that, it would be gross. There'd be so many people that don't bathe. I mean, let's be honest here. I've gone. There's a literally 6 streets down. There's a Magic card shop, and I've gone over there since Pokemon Go has come out. There's people that walk out, and they look at me, and they know. Like, when you're walking around and you're playing, you know when somebody else is playing. Like, you don't have to say anything, you just know. And I've had some of these people walk over, and, like, they open the door, and you can smell them. They turn and they look at you, and your eyes meet for just that split second, and they start walking towards you, and I walk the other way, like, as fast as I can. I'm like, I don't need to beat this gym, I'm done. But that, I mean, I guess that would actually go with the online gambling thing, because then you wouldn't have to smell them.
Yeah, you could stay in the comforts of your own home and bet on the neckbeards.
Yeah.
See, here's what would be great though. I mean, like you could what's great about Pokemon Go is that you could do live events. You know, I mean, you could show up with your big Poke belt and you like your boxer shorts and like your and then you show up at the gym and you throw down and then Rocky beats the shit out of you. You know, and you lay there all broken and shit, and then you die in the third movie.
Not like this.
Not like this.
No. Just like this.
I don't think it's gonna be like that at all, actually.
I think it'd be great because I mean, like, if I was a card shop owner, and I would set up events. You know, you sell like water and stuff at like you go to like be like on this day everyone. I mean, because presumably at some point they're gonna have like Pokemon like one person can fight another person's Pokemon. I mean, at some point I think they would have to.
Well, I can tell you right now, it's actually brilliant, and I don't know why more places aren't doing this. So there's places that you can go when you're walking called Pokestops, and they're just like basically attractions in the area, and a lot of them are businesses or stuff near businesses. There is a coffee shop right up the street from my house, and they've got a Pokestop right in front of their business. Every single day, all day, they've got a Pokemon lure there, which is something that you can put there that basically attracts Pokemon there. And you can get them from leveling up, but I know they're paying for it. They're buying these little tokens to draw people there, and every day since this game has come out, there's probably 20, 30 people standing around that coffee shop with their phones out and a coffee in the other hand.
That's fantastic.
And I mean, it's brilliant, and I don't see why there's more places that aren't doing this, because it works. I've put up a lure in a random spot, and I've had people come screeching into parking lots near where I'm at to get out and just stand near this spot. And I mean, it's marketing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I don't know, personally, I think online gambling should be legal. I do. But I mean, I think that it needs to be less catered towards kids.
Sure.
It needs to follow the law of the land.
As far as online gambling is concerned, in my opinion, it falls along the lines of online pornography. And it falls along the lines of addiction in general to me. I don't mind gambling, personally. I enjoy gambling, and I can, call it quits when it's time to fucking call it quits. But I know there's plenty of people out there that just can't not do the addicting thing, And if gambling were more readily available, I think it would break certain people. Which, to each their own. I get it. Don't fucking ruin it for the rest of us kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not against it being more of a thing. I would actually prefer it to be more of a thing, but I could definitely see the negative side effects to it. But yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up. What do you guys got any final thoughts on it? On online gambling?
I agree with you for the most part. As far as I am hugely addicted to porn, but I hate gambling, so I feel like I'd be safe. I probably have watched more indecent material than any person on this planet.
You're probably correct.
I bet that you could start an online gambling to bet on the type of porn that Frank would be watching
at any given moment.
Boom.
Most people would probably be wrong.
FapKings. Right
yeah,
there.
FapKings. I'm presently attaching myself to midgets versus horses.
Oh my god.
This is my fetish.
Mongolian herbalist versus octopus.
Alright, we're gonna stop right there before it gets out of hand.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
It's firmly in hand, I assure you.
Alright, well, if you've been listening, thanks for doing that listening thing that you're doing.
Thank you!
Please do follow us on Twitter, Facebook. Subscribe to us on iTunes if you haven't already. I appreciate all of you that are currently following. and we will have another episode soon. But until then, thanks for listening. See you later.
Bye.